So nice to be here. I'm Laurie Cameron, and I have been with many of you before. If you're here for the first time with me, it's wonderful to be in this dharma space together. I am a meditation teacher and author and golden retriever owner, and he has decided to roll around on the floor and make cute little noises exactly when I start talking. He tends to do that. So if you hear something, that's what it is. So it's wonderful to be here. And I am excited about the inspiration that I received this week from my daughter. And I look forward to exploring with you the heart of belonging. Um, by sharing by way of the teachings of Thich Nhat Hanh. So before we do that, let's drop into our shared space of meditation and connection. I invite you to sit in a way that is relaxed and alert. You might imagine that you are a majestic mountain. You feel a sense of stability. You invite in the quality of calm, of presence, of groundedness. You can also imagine the sense of being as clear as still water, stable mountain, clear water. And now deepen attention into the body. The body is the experiencer of life. So bringing attention into the body, feeling the body breathe. Feeling the rise and fall of the chest, abdomen, and feeling the feet arriving right here, right now. Now bring attention to the chest area, to the heart. You might put a hand or two hands on the heart. And breathe in and out of the heart. Softening. Breathing in. I know that I'm breathing in. Breathing out. I know that I'm breathing out. In. Calm. Out. Here. in, mountain, out, stable, in, water, out, clear, bringing attention back to breathing, noticing the aliveness that's right here, feeling the vitality in the body. As we notice and scan the body, we might sense sensations in the belly, the beating of the heart, maybe tingling on the palms. This is the aliveness that's right here. As we breathe in and out of the heart, deepening awareness, deepening attention to the life that's right here, we might begin to sense that this aliveness is not contained by the boundary of our skin. We hear birds singing, leaves blowing in the wind, clouds moving across the sky. We inter-are with all of these elements. As we breathe gently, we can start to sense that interdependence. Our true nature. Deepening attention into the heart space again. Feeling the body breathe. We drop below identity, roles, titles, labels, into the beauty of the heart. We breathe in and out of this space, connecting, connecting to the life that's right here, connecting to the field that we're a part of, that we inhabit. Where names fall away, roles, protective armor, even the conditioned mind. Softening the body, the hands. We continue to let go, to drop in. We enter the spacious field of loving awareness that is our true nature and is already always available. Breathing in, I know that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know that I'm breathing out. I am the breath. I am the one breathing. I am the wave. I am the ocean. I am the tea. I am the water. I am the cloud. You might invite a gentle smile. Moving up the edges of the mouth ever so slightly and sending that smile down through the body. Breathing in, I calm the body. Breathing out, I smile. And now sending that smile, that energy of love and well being out in widening circles. The waves of love coming from you, extending out, and touch everything, include everything. The tea, the water, the cloud, the rain. Because we enter our. That is our true nature. So we relax back into this loving, spacious awareness. No coming, no going, no birth, no death. Just this beauty and joy available right here, right now, in this present moment. Present moment, wonderful moment. Bringing attention back to the breath. Mindful breathing is my anchor. Allowing the breath to stabilize the mind, calming the body, and allowing this body to soften, to trust, to invite all the experience that's arising, all of life that's waiting for us to embrace. Everything belongs. Everything is welcome. As we rest here together in this field of loving awareness, we see with the heart this body, one another, strangers, friends. We're seeing from the heart space, from awareness. And here, compassion naturally arises. We see the tenderness of our own humanity and of each other's. Fences, walls, and boundaries fall. And then we have the deep, embodied knowing of interbeing, of our true nature, of oneness. We feel the warmth and embrace of one another. Because we enter our. I have arrived. I am home in the here and the now. Welcome home. You belong. I belong. We belong here together in this clearing we've created in the dense forest of our lives. We arrive in the present moment, in the field. We arrive together. we can envision all of us in this field, in this circle, shoulder to shoulder, putting one hand on our heart, the other hand on the back of the person next to us. Everybody here sending and receiving love, opening to receiving, allowing the good wishes, the metta, the loving kindness to come into you and flow out again. So I invite us all to do that together to close this meditation, sending and receiving, feeling energetically the warmth and support of a hand on your back. May you be happy and peaceful. May you be healthy and strong. May you be safe and protected. May you live with ease. And may you know that you are loved. Taking a deep breath in. Slow, easy exhale. Opening your eyes when you're ready. Taking a stretch and a twist. Thank you all for meditating with me. So, so beautiful to have the freedom and the blessing of being able to show up together, arrive here together, arrive in the body, arrive in our circle, in our community, our Sangha. It's such a joy. So thank you so much for being here. I'm just doing a scan of all your beautiful names and so happy to see you all, to sense you all. So I am Laurie Cameron. I know many of you, some of you are new flowers in the garden for me, so I'm so glad you're here. I'm just my daughter Ava. Ava's 20 and is in Plum Village right now, the home monastery of the wonderful Thich Nhat Hanh. And many of you might be familiar with Thich Nhat Hanh, the Zen master, who was Vietnamese and was exiled from Vietnam and started a mindfulness community in the south of France near Bordeaux. And his intention was to create a community where people are living full time, nuns and monks, and where lay people like you and I could come anytime and live there and be in that energetic, loving field and weed the garden and cook and meditate and take daily walks with Thai when he was alive or when he was in his body and with the nuns and monks. So it's just wonderful. And there are many practice centers now, they're also called monasteries. There are many of those around the world, and there are 3 here in the United States, and they're just a wonderful place. So I encourage you, if you have not been to one of those, to try, and you can go for a day or go for a week or longer. It's just a beautiful experience. And my daughter's there volunteering for the month of July. I have brought her up in these different practice centers since she was little, and this summer is her first time going without me. So she's been there a week, and we've been talking about, or like, I hadn't heard anything from her, but finally she emerged on the weekend and did some texts with me, and I knew she was all right. And we've been talking about, or texting and chatting about dharma sharing and the dharma family. And it really inspired me to come to today's class with that question, that place of belonging, and really looking at the 3 jewels as our pillars in our Buddha spiritual path, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, and really look at how we receive nourishment from these jewels. And this idea of Dharma family and Dharma sharing, which I'll talk a little bit more about, is such an alive and real and tangible way to receive the nourishment of the 3 jewels. So when you attend a Plum Village retreat, or in any of these monasteries around the world that are practicing in the tradition of Plum Village or the tradition of Thich Nhat Hanh, every day has a similar structure, which can be said for a lot of monasteries or meditation centers. And part of the structure of attending a retreat in Plum Village is that you're assigned to a Dharma family. And there might be 20 to 25 people in the Dharma family, and there's a nun and a monk, and maybe some lay people or volunteers are kind of holding that container. And the Dharma family meets every single day, and it's usually in the afternoon. So in the morning, we wake up and begin with meditation, and then there's a Dharma talk by a senior nun or monk. And then there's a lovely vegan breakfast outside in quiet. And then we do walking meditation together as a whole Sangha, hundreds and hundreds of people walking in nature. It's quite beautiful. And as the Dharma talk kind of sinks into the heart, you hear it in the morning and it's kind of sinking in, and you might, things kind of insights arise during the walk, or while you're taking your shower, or while you're doing your assignments or your task, or taking a nap. At any time, right? The mind is opening in these beautiful centers where we're quieting, the mind's getting quiet and insights arise. Then you can go to your Dharma family sharing circle, which is usually in the afternoon. And there we sit together and we share. And Eve and I were talking about this design and this beauty of having a Dharma family for a week, and just a blessing in that. And I wanted to share that with you all, because right now we have that experience. We're invited in to be a Dharma family, to have Dharma sharing, and it's a really wonderful blessing and privilege. So in this Dharma sharing, I was telling Ava that she's welcome to share anything that arises, and to really be open to be that presence for others. And the more we listen, the more we're open to the tenderness, the rawness, the vulnerability that arises when we're sharing in circle like that, the more we realize that we are having a very similar shared human experience, that we're really not that alone. We have an epidemic of loneliness in the United States and actually globally. There's been a lot of data that I've been reading over the last 2 months about the epidemic of loneliness and what we're seeing the impact of that in Europe and Asia and the United States. I don't think there's any area of the planet that's left out of this. And we often forget that we are interdependent, that we are each other, that we are having similar joys and sorrows as humans. So this dharma sharing is a method. It's a methodology, an old one that we are experiencing right now, real time together, and that Ava Grace is experiencing in Plum Village, and that people are experiencing all over in many different places of gathering and communities of worship and practice. And so the invitation is for us to realize that this methodology, this way of coming together is available, and that we can attend and step into structures that exist like this one, and we can create and invite in others to our own circles, to our own places of belonging that we can create, and we're called to create. So that's really the heart of compassionate action, of engaged Buddhism, is to be intentional about entering into these Dharma families and Dharma sharing circles like this morning, and to create those. So I invite all of us to reflect on, what are the circles that I have? What are the Dharma sharing opportunities that I currently have in my life? And where might I be called to create places of belonging, to create that clearing, as the poet Martha Postlewaite says, the clearing in the dense forest of our life. So let me take a sip of water. You can hear that I'm navigating a summer cold, so I'm sorry for the throat. One of the most beautiful poems that I've read that bring to life the truth of our belonging, the truth of our shared human experience, is a poem that my teacher Thich Nhat Hanh wrote in 1976. He read a very difficult news story, and he was really, really suffering with his compassionate heart, just feeling the weight of that tragic news. And I know many of us, I think it would be fair to say all of us are reading the news of the day these days, are reading about the atrocities and the horrific acts that are taking place in different parts of the world. It's really, really hard to hear the stories or to see the news or to discuss what's happening with friends and family. And I thought that it would be helpful to share this poem from Thich Nhat Hanh and to explore the truth of our belonging, the truth of our true nature, so that we too can have that widened perspective that we experienced in the meditation, that vast, spacious, loving awareness, and that humbling truth of who we are. So let me pull this up. So many of you might know this poem, Call Me by My True Names. And whether you've heard it before or not, I invite you to even close your eyes if you like, or just kind of looking down, just allowing yourself to experience the beauty of, of Thich Nhat Hanh's words, his poetry. Call me by my true names. Do not say that I'll depart tomorrow, because even today I still arrive. Look deeply. I arrive in every second, to be a bud on a spring branch, to be a tiny bird with wings still fragile, learning to sing in my new nest, to be a caterpillar in the heart of a flower, to be a jewel hiding itself in a stone. I still arrive in order to laugh and to cry, in order to fear and to hope. The rhythm of my heart is the birth and death of all that are alive. I am the mayfly metamorphosing on the surface of the river, and I am the bird which, when spring comes, arrives in time to eat the mayfly. I am the frog swimming happily in the clear pond, and I am also the grass snake who, approaching in silence, feeds itself on the frog. I am the child in Uganda, all skin and bones, my legs as thin as bamboo sticks, and I am the arms merchant selling deadly weapons to Uganda. I am the 12-year-old girl, refugee on a small boat, who throws herself into the ocean after being raped by a sea pirate. And I am the pirate, my heart not yet capable of seeing and loving. I am a member of the Politburo with plenty of power in my hands, and I am the man who has to pay his debt of blood to my people, dying slowly in a forced labor camp. My joy is like spring, so warm it makes flowers bloom in all walks of life. My pain is like a river of tears, so full it fills the four oceans. Please call me by my true names, so I can hear all my cries and laughs at once, so I can see that my joy and pain are one. Please call me by my true names, so I can wake up, and so the door of my heart can be left open, the door of compassion. Thich Nhat Hanh, or Thai, as we call him, which means teacher, wrote that poem after receiving a letter, actually, about the 12-year-old Vietnamese girl. He writes about this moment. When you first learn of something like that, you get angry at the pirate. You naturally take the side of the girl. As you look more deeply, you will see it differently. If you take the side of the little girl, then it's easy. You only have to take a gun and shoot the pirate. But we can't do that. In my meditation, Thai writes, I saw that if I had been born in the village of the pirate and raised in the same conditions as he was, I would now be the pirate. There is a great likelihood that I would become a pirate. And given that, I can't condemn myself so easily. In my meditation, I saw that many babies are born along the Gulf of Siam, hundreds every day. And if we educators and social workers and politicians do not do something about the situation, in 25 years, a number of them will be sea pirates. That is certain. If you or I were born today in those fishing villages, we might become sea pirates in 25 years. If you take a gun and shoot the pirate, you shoot all of us, because all of us are, to some extent, responsible for the state of affairs. After a long meditation, I wrote this poem, Tai says, and in it, there are three people: the 12-year-old girl, the pirate, and me. Can we look at each other and recognize ourselves in each other? The title of the poem is Please Call Me by My True Names, because I have so many names. And when I hear any one of these names, I have to say yes. So we might reflect on the question of what are our names? What are your names? And really looking at the nature of our heart, the quality of our heart, and our capacity to see ourselves in each other, to see ourselves in the sea pirate, to see ourselves in the 12-year-old, to see ourselves in the faces of politicians, of neighbors, of colleagues, of people that we're distant from. Please call me by my true names, because I have so many names. And when I hear one of these names, I have to say yes. Another one of my teachers is the Buddhist scholar, psychologist, and teacher Jack Kornfield. And Jack writes about Thich Nhat Hanh and teaches about him as well, and says, in the midst of it all, Thich Nhat Hanh has taught us to breathe, to smile, and to live with a free heart. And Jack underscores Thay's embodied teaching that in our troubled world, there is no false division between inner awakening and engaged compassion. To his eye, to Thich Nhat Hanh's eye, like his spiritual ancestor, Mahatma Gandhi, every being matters. Everything is sacred. And that includes you, and it includes me. So this truth reminds us of our true belonging, that we belong and that everyone belongs. My cough belongs. The wonderful monk and teacher Nisargadatta points to this in a very simple way by reminding us to meditate on the words, on the mantra, I am. So in a very simple way, we can meditate on the I am, he writes, until the I am is recognized as utterly illusory. We meditate on I am. It's like the shortest way to recite the poem, Call Me by My True Names. Thich Nhat Hanh shares the teaching by bringing to life the frog, the snake, the mayfly, the bird, the girl, the sea pirate. He illustrates with his beautiful poetry and vivid imagery this interconnection, this oneness, and that we are all of that. And then in contrast, Nisargadatta uses the fewest words possible. I am, 3 letters, and invites us to meditate on that. I am. Just repeating. And then soon, he points out, the I am drops away. The I am is recognized as utterly illusory. I find this enormously comforting. When I forget my true nature, when I forget who I am, when I forget that I belong, that I'm the mayfly and the red cardinal in my backyard right now, I get caught up in all the tasks of the day, in all the to-dos, in all the places I fall short. I don't get something over the finish line. Something is incomplete. Things I forget to do. And I get caught up in the story. I get caught up in the roles, the identities. And I forget. So we learn to arrive again and again, arrive home in the here and the now. And we can use the breath to come back. We can use poetry as a mirror. This poem is a beautiful mirror to just remember who we are. We can use a mantra, I am. We can use a chant or a song. But we keep coming home. We keep remembering. When we arrive at home in the here and the now, the way Thai invites us to, the heart softens. The heart expands. And in that expanded way, we realize that everything belongs. That is how we can access the truth of that, the truth of who we are, and that we belong, that we are not alone. And then we look at what is ours to do in this. Can we create circles of belonging and invite those in? Can we take one another by the hand? Can we create sacred containers where we can show up and be authentic and real with each other? What strengthens our capacity to access this truth, to deepen it, this knowing? That's the question. And Ty would tell us that it comes back to the three jewels: the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. The Buddha nature, and every one of us, our bodhisattva nature, that radiant, warm, clear, pure light. The Dharma is the teachings, the universal truth, the knowing. And we can access that with wonderful books. These are some of my oldest and most favorite Thich Nhat Hanh books. I think I have a full library, but these are my very, very old original ones. And they are doorways to the Dharma. Talking with spiritual friends is doorways to the Dharma. And that also gives us the portal to the third jewel, the Sangha. When Ty was asked, what is the most important of the three jewels? He answered, the Sangha, the community, each other. When Thich Nhat Hanh was nearing the end of his life, people asked him, who will be your successor? Who are you grooming? Who is going to step into your shoes? And Ty said, the Sangha will step into my shoes. He did not want to have any one person step into that role. He believed in his humility and wisdom that all of us are carrying and continuing on the teachings together. He invited us to go like a river, move like a river together. And so this morning, being invited to be with you was just so lovely. Another opportunity to go like a river, to be together. And so I'll share with you a Hopi blessing, illustrating the beauty of the Sangha, the beauty of recognizing who we are, calling each other by our true names, recognizing the truth of our interbeing, our oneness, the truth of belonging. There is a river flowing now very fast. It's so great and so swift that there are those who will be afraid. They will try to hold on to the shore. They will feel that they're being torn apart and will suffer greatly. Know that the river has its destination. The elders say we must let go of the shore, push off into the middle of the river, keep our eyes open and our heads above the water. And I say, see who is there with you and celebrate. At this time in history, we are to take nothing personally, least of all ourselves. For the moment that we do, our spiritual growth and journey come to a halt. The time of the lone wolf is over. Gather yourselves. Banish the word struggle from your attitude and vocabulary. All that we do now must be done in a sacred manner and in celebration. We are the ones we have been waiting for. I'll invite the bell. I hope you can hear it. Thank you all for